longer allow free access to the Twitter API beginning next Thursday. So an API is a software tool used by third-party developers to access data from applications to make new services. So Elon Musk took over the social media platform, as we know, last October. He's been trying to cut costs significantly and to bring more money in. Well, Twitter will begin charging those developers to get access to its API, an important tool that powers popular services like Tweet Delete and bots that send users prompts on data in real time. The company says third-party services using the Twitter API will soon have to use its basic paid tier. Now, in a tweet, Musk said free API was being abused by bot scammers and opinion manipulators. And tonight, Chinese officials are maintaining it's a civilian aircraft that entered United States airspace accidentally. Fox News correspondent Ryan Chilcote has the details from London.
No reaction from China yet on the downing of their balloon. What they have been saying, and this happened, they were saying this before the downing of that balloon, addressing the diplomatic component of this, and namely that Secretary Blinken won't be going to Beijing, that the U.S. can't cancel Secretary Blinken's visit because neither of the sides formally announced the visit in the first place. Semantics, perhaps, the Chinese effectively saying that you can't cancel something that wasn't officially on. The Chinese Foreign Ministry putting out a statement early Saturday saying, in actuality, the U.S. and China have never announced any visit. The U.S. making any such announcement is their own business, and we respect that. But China on Saturday also asked the U.S. to respect it and not to smear China. You'll recall that China, in their very first reaction to that balloon moving into U.S. airspace, said it regretted that the balloon had unintentionally entered U.S. airspace. China also repeated their claim Saturday that this was a weather balloon and that they had little control over it and that it was not for spying, obviously something that the U.S. has said is false. Secretary Blinken was set to arrive in Beijing Sunday. That's, of course, not happening anymore. It would have been the first high-level meeting since China's President Xi and President Biden sat down in November, agreed on Blinken's visit, and promised to avoid conflict. But outside of the official communications, you can also hear Chinese experts saying that, again, while claiming the balloon wasn't for spying, American surveillance of China is much more aggressive. Again, no official reaction yet from China. We'll obviously be watching for that. In London, Ryan Chilcote, Fox News.
And a Mexican actor was sentenced to 5 years in prison and 8 years of probation in Miami court on Friday, months after he was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter. So 35-year-old Pablo Lyle was also ordered to complete 500 hours of community service and attend those several classes to control his temper. So this comes after the March 2019 death of 63-year-old Cuban-American Juan Ricardo Hernandez. It stemmed from a road rage incident that happened while Lyle was headed to the Miami International Airport to take a flight to Mexico. Now, police say Lyle's brother-in-law was the one who was actually driving the car, made a U-turn, angering 63-year-old Juan Ricardo. That's when Hernandez got out of his car and got into an argument with Lyle and the brother-in-law. Police say Lyle punched Hernandez in the face, causing him to fall to the ground and hit his head. Now, Hernandez died 4 days later. Lyle was defended his innocence, and he says that he acted in self-defense. Well, heart attacks have long been considered a problem facing older adults, but young people can have them too. Recent research finds of those who suffer a heart attack at a young age, 1 in 5 were 40 years old or younger, and that number is actually rising. In today's Health Minute, there's more on the subtle signs of a heart attack and why one man is on a mission to make younger people aware in honor of American Heart Month. Take a listen.
At age 30, Dave Conway felt his energy level drop. He was tired more often and couldn't bounce back like he used to.
And when I would talk to people about it, they'd just be like, hey, welcome to getting older.
One day at work, he exerted himself and felt lightheaded, nauseous. He thought it was heat exhaustion at first, but the symptoms lingered. And over time, he developed heartburn and shortness of breath. When he wasn't getting better, he was encouraged to go to a doctor. After seeing his blood pressure, Conway was immediately sent to the emergency room where he had an echocardiogram.
Anything below 40% is considered heart failure. and I was at 10%.
Conway says he had 3 strokes in the hospital. It was then that a 100% blockage in a major artery was discovered. He says the earlier symptoms were actually signs of a widowmaker heart attack.
My cardiologist said, had I not come in when I did, I probably would have just gone to bed that night and never woken up.
Cardiologist Lakshmi Mehta with Ohio State University's Wexner Medical Center says it's important for everyone, regardless of age, to know the symptoms, including chest discomfort or pain that radiates to the shoulder, back, neck, or jaw, shortness of breath, nausea, indigestion, intense fatigue.
There is something acutely new in you and it doesn't make sense, then you want to seek immediate medical attention.
5 years later, Conway's focused on a healthy lifestyle.
I realized that I was happy to be here today.
Health experts say it's also important for young people to focus on heart health. So that means staying physically active, trying to eat healthy, limiting alcohol and not smoking. Heart disease risk increases with age, but experts say what is done in younger days impacts lifelong heart risks. And speaking of smoking, according to the CDC, nearly 2/3 of U.S. adults support banning menthol cigarette sales, and more than half support ending the sale of all tobacco products. That's according to new research from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Now, the study was published this week in the journal Preventing Chronic Disease. It surveyed nearly 6,500 U.S. adults in 2021. Although support for both proposals was lower among current tobacco users, more than 1/3 of current smokers supported banning menthol cigarette sales, and more than 1/4 supported banning all tobacco sales. The Food and Drug Administration has proposed a ban on menthol cigarettes and flavored cigars. And the Department of Agriculture wants to make school breakfast and lunch, well, healthier. The agency has unveiled new proposed guidelines to reduce both sugar and sodium in foods that are served in school cafeterias. The changes would happen gradually over time, so basically by next year, schools would start phasing out refined grains in favor of whole grains. Then, by at least 2025, sugar and sweetened yogurts, muffins, cereals, and chocolate milk would be reduced, and sodium cut by at least 10%. Now, those sugars and sodium would be reduced further in subsequent years. The USDA also plans to invest $100 million to help cafeterias try to update their conditions. And now many schools still have limited kitchen capacity left over from the 1980s when more prepackaged processed foods were used. Well, still ahead here on Fox 4 News, a number of downtown Fort Myers businesses are welcoming customers back this weekend for the first time since Hurricane Ian. We'll show you which ones after the break. And Cars on Fifth event, it's happening this weekend. We'll take you there. Stay with us. You're watching Fox 4 News at 10. Andrew?
And check out the week ahead. Warm temperatures through Friday. Another cool down on the way. I'll break it down for you coming up in just a few minutes.
Well, a number of downtown Fort Myers businesses are welcoming customers back this weekend for the first time since Hurricane Ian. Firestone Grill Room, Martini Bar, and Sky Bar will be their first weekend for these doors to be open since Hurricane Ian. So, of course, owners are excited for more foot traffic after 4 months of being closed. They say other businesses in the area have also helped them out and get to this point.
The former general manager, Bob, over at Luminary, he had actually offered to hire our entire staff.
Chip's Sports Pub, which is located inside the Luminary Hotel, is also hosting a soft opening throughout this weekend, hoping to officially open in the next couple of weeks. Well, 3 major events are happening in Naples throughout this weekend, and they're all expected to bring in a lot of revenue, especially after tourism industry. Well, it took a hard hit after Hurricane Ian, obviously. Tourism in Collier County is responsible for more than 30,000 jobs. Now, this is why leaders are hoping this weekend's events will draw crowds and bring back a big economic impact to those areas. Those events include the Cars on 5th, the Naples Greek Fest at St. Catherine Greek Orthodox Church, and, of course, the 2nd annual Naples Seafood and Music Festival.
You are planning on coming and visiting, continue to do so. Cannot wait to welcome every single person from around the world back to Florida's Paradise Coast. We are open, we have our arms wide open, and we cannot wait to see you. If you're looking for the best in everything, only Paradise will do.
They're hoping that this year's events will show the sense of normalcy that Collier County is hoping to have once again. And so that Cars on 5th event, well, we said it's happening throughout this weekend. 25,000 people are expected to gather on 5th Avenue to see more than 750 cars. Cars like Porsche, Corvettes, and so much more leading up to throughout the whole weekend. Well, a car auction was held with one Ferrari going for, get this, $565,000. Some of the proceeds are going to St. Matthew's House.
We expect that it'll be a bigger turnout this year. It's grown so much, and families look forward to it. It's really a fun event for families to come out. If you love cars, you got to be there, but it's just a lot of fun. The Ben Allen Band will be on stage. There'll be a lot of activities.
The event revs up, well, yesterday, and obviously we know it still happens tomorrow. If you would like more information, you can head to our website, fox4now.com. And now let's head over to get a better look at our weather with Fox 4 meteorologist Andrew Shipley. How's the weather going to be tomorrow for people to head out there?
It's definitely going to be much better, but at least I have to ask, did you see your dream car on there?
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, just to line them all up.
Some pretty Porsches, yeah. Did you?
No, I saw some nice luxury vehicles there.
I grew up around cars. I love cars. So
you're the car guru in the newsroom, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
I don't think these wind speeds were quite as fast as some of these cars, but they were definitely speeding out there today, as we are looking at 34-mile-an-hour gusts earlier today in Fort Myers, 33 miles an hour in Bonita Springs, Naples, 32 miles an hour in Golden Gate. Yeah, it was blowing earlier today. We are seeing those winds starting to relax here tonight. We do expect that to continue in towards the morning hours for you. And speaking of the morning hours, take a look at the next couple hours as we cool those temperatures down into the mid-60s here overnight. I think we bottom out right around 64 degrees or so. Mostly cloudy skies through the overnight hours. Those east winds at about 10 miles an hour. Take a look at tomorrow, though. We see those winds shifting more to the southwest, warming us up out there tomorrow as we're seeing those temperatures down in Naples again for the next day of the car show there at 81 degrees there. How about 82 LaBelle as well as Punta Gorda and Fort Myers for tomorrow afternoon. But we are expecting some showers around the area as we get towards tomorrow. Take a look at 7 a.m. You're seeing out towards Moorhaven, Clewiston, maybe the possibility of a few rumbles out there. We will be watching that in through the morning, but it does look like things relax into the evening hours here, though I can't rule out maybe a stray shower or two closer towards the coastline. But I think if you are near the coast, you should be relatively dry for you on your Sunday. If you're closer towards, say, the Atlantic coast or Lake Okeechobee, the rain chances are better for you tomorrow. And you can see that in those projected rainfall totals. Majority of rain is off towards the Atlantic coastline. Some of that could be on the heavier side, something we are watching. But closer to the coastline, we're talking maybe 1/100 of an inch. So again, not not a lot of rain, but we'll take what we can get this dry season. But what's going on here is that cold front that's kind of stalled out across to the south of us. Well, it's going to be lifting back north as an area of low pressure develops up along it. Moves right up along the Atlantic coastline there and then pushes off to the north and east as we get towards the afternoon hours there. So that's why we dry out a little bit during the day as high pressure builds back in as we get towards your Monday. And that means right back to the sunshine Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, even Thursday for that matter. We're also seeing a little dip in that humidity, still keeping that refreshing range Monday and Tuesday. Starts to climb back up, though, as we get towards your Thursday. Thursday, we're also going to see the return of a little bit of rain chance there. This is going to be out ahead of our next frontal boundary that moves in on Friday. So just 20% precipitation there on Thursday as we increase that humidity up before that front. But check out what it does, though, in terms of those temperatures. And you can see we stay in the lower 80s the next 2 days, jump up into the mid-80s through the middle of the week here as we flirt with some near record territory. But once that front moves in Friday, we see those temperatures really drop off there in towards your next weekend. Temperatures only looking at the lower 70s, back below normal. Again, most of that shower chances look to be Friday night and towards your Saturday morning.
Well, up next on Fox 4 News at 11 o'clock, we'll continue to bring you more updates on the shooting that happened in Arcadia. We're also tracking a few crashes throughout Southwest Florida still under investigation, plus the latest on the Chinese spy balloon that spent days traveling across the United States after facing increased pressure to take action. Thank you so much for staying with us for Fox 4 News at 10 o'clock. Fox 4 meteorologist Andrew Shipley and I will see you back here for Fox 4 News at 11 o'clock in the next few minutes. Stay with us.
Live from Southwest Florida, you're watching Fox 4 News at 11.
Thank you for joining us for Fox 4 News at 11 o'clock. I'm Elise Chingari.
They decided that the best time to do that was to get out over water outside within 12-mile limit.
This video, exclusively shot by our Fox News team in Surfside, South Carolina, near Myrtle Beach, captured the moment when the Chinese spy balloon was shot down by that U.S. Air Force F-22 Raptor launched from Langley Air Force Base outside Virginia Beach. The balloon was shot down after the F-22 fired a single, short-range Sidewinder heat-seeking missile. It appeared to be a direct impact on the balloon's spying apparatus. Senior defense officials say the debris field is now scattered across 7 miles in the ocean and about 45 feet of water, 6 miles off the coast of South Carolina, inside U.S. territorial waters. It's notable the spy balloon was not shot down in international airspace. The balloon had been floating over the U.S. for about a week. It took off from mainland China, circumvented Russia before crossing over the Aleutian Islands of Alaska and making its way over Canada and then Montana, home of Malmstrom Air Force Base, one of 3 bases in the U.S. housing Minuteman III intercontinental ballistic missiles. These nuclear missile silos are the same kind of silos the Chinese are building right now in mainland China. Their nuclear stockpile is expected to double in the next decade, according to the Pentagon. Officials say there's relief inside the White House that this Chinese spy balloon was shot down before President Biden gives his State of the Union address on Tuesday. At the White House, Lucas Tomlinson, Fox News.
Thank you, Lucas. And back here in Southwest Florida today, a crash happened involving a Lee County public transit bus. 1 person was killed and 2 others critically injured, according to Florida Highway Patrol. FHP says around 4 o'clock today, the SUV was traveling west on Summerlin Road, attempting to make a left on San Carlos Boulevard, while the Lee County transit bus was going east, approaching that intersection at San Carlos Boulevard. The SUV turned left in front of the bus, and the front of it collided with the side of the bus. Now, FHP says the driver of the SUV, a 77-year-old California man, was taken to a hospital and later died from his injuries. The 2 other passengers inside that SUV were critically injured. FHP says the driver of the transit bus sustained minor injuries, and there were no passengers on board at the time of that crash. Now, this crash remains under investigation. Let's take you over to another crash that happened today on Alligator Alley. It caused quite a bit of backed up traffic. Take a look at this. This is traffic that our director caught in our control room today. When we checked with Florida Highway Patrol for any details, we were told there was a roadblock there along I-75 northbound at mile marker 87, and that's because of a 3-vehicle crash. The left lane was back open around 6 o'clock tonight. We don't have any word from FHP at this time about any possible injuries. We do know that the crash is still under investigation. Well, more funding is heading right to us here in Southwest Florida. First Lady Casey DeSantis made the announcement in Fort Myers on Friday. The more than $2 million will go towards more recovery efforts post-Hurricane Ian. The $2 million comes from the Florida Disaster Fund. Now, the money will go to dozens of nonprofits and faith-based groups that have helped people get back on their feet after Hurricane Ian. Big companies like Home Depot, Lowe's, and Walmart are also donating supplies, including mattresses, sheets, and more than 1,200 doors to help our community.
Some of those federal bureaucracies can take a page from the DeSantis playbook and learn how to get things done quickly, efficiently, effectively, cut the red tape. And let's just work on behalf of people in need.
Now, to request supplies or get help with more of your home repairs, you can visit the Unite Florida portal. You can go to ianrecovery.fl.gov. Well, street signs were ripped up throughout Fort Myers Beach from Hurricane Ian, but today more volunteers, well, they got together to create street signs so people knew how to navigate throughout the area with those signs. Those volunteers also continue to try to clean up the beach the best that they can. Take a listen.
Today, we've chosen the Montanza Trail. There's a lot of debris back there that went into all of the mangroves. So we're gonna go ahead and clean that up. And we also have some sign painting that worked out really well for us last weekend. We actually posted quite a few of them, and we'll be posting some more today. What we're doing is pulling some wood and priming it and painting it kind of detailed with the beach vibe. everybody's doing their own unique thing with them. They're turning out pretty cool.
I'm painting Bayview Avenue, and a friend of mine actually lived on Bayview Avenue, so I sought her street out first. It warms my heart, the amount of generosity, the volunteerism, the humanity. This is what Lee County's about, and you know, Fort Myers Beach, I mean, it's like we are Fort Myers Beach strong, FMB, yeah, absolutely.
This is actually an amazing turnout. We started out, it was just the two of us, and we're like asking friends or people that we know and put it on Facebook, and get expecting like a handful of people, and now it's like, wow.
They're turning out very unique, and I think it's kind of bringing a lot of people together, doing something that needs to be done that can't quite be done yet. For me, it's been really important because this place has got my heart. I think all of the volunteers, it's been important to. Most of them show up multiple weekends, and we get new followers every weekend. But I would say the most important part is just to share the love. But this really makes us feel the love that's out there. And that's hard to find these days. So when you get that many people together, all wanting the same thing, it's heart-filled. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m., Fort Myers Beach Pier, and we will disperse from there. And I guarantee you'll feel the love.
And more recovery efforts throughout our area. So if you drive through downtown Fort Myers or even use the Edison Bridge, I'm sure you've seen those dozens of boats that have been thrown on land there from Hurricane Ian. Boats that are normally in Legacy Harbor Marina. But take a look at this. On Friday, crews with R.J. Gorman Marine Services removed this 72-foot yacht from Legacy Harbor Marina. That 72-foot boat, named Gypsy Soul Motor Yacht, weighs 148,000 pounds. I'm sure you've seen it if you've driven by there. It usually had those blue lights on it. Crews used the large crane to take that boat from land back into the Caloosahatchee River. And crews actually tell me tonight that that boat is back sailing. It's on its way to Miami for repairs, while also pulling 2 other yachts along with it. And this week, we spoke with the city of Sanibel Mayor Holly Smith about 2 beaches expected to open back up soon. I talked to her and I asked her when it's going to happen. She said soon. Well, they are back open. Those public access points for Tarpon Bay and Blind Pass beaches opened up today. When I spoke with her this week, she said the biggest roadblock is debris, and it'll take more time to get the other beaches open.
The eastern beaches had the most significant impact, so Lighthouse and going up that way. So they needed to get a lot of that major debris out of the way, and then they've gone through and done additional sifting.
So the mayor also wants to point out when heading out, you should still be cautious because there could still be hazards around. Mayor Smith says you also notice some tracks that you never saw before, and that's from people working to get those beaches back open. She also adds that if you head to the area, make sure you support the local businesses that have been trying to open back up there on Sanibel. And now let's head over to Fox 4 meteorologist Andrew Shipley to get a look at your forecast on this Saturday night. Andrew, is quite windy today.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was cool to go along with it. So not the ideal beach day or maybe pool day today, as we saw those temperatures at 78 degrees in Cape Coral and Punta Gorda and even Fort Myers for that matter. We are looking about a degree above normal for this time of year. But with the wind around, it felt much cooler than those actual air temperatures. Take a look at the winds. Max gusts today, 34 miles an hour in Fort Myers, 31 miles an hour in Punta Gorda, as well as 33 miles an hour Bonita Springs and Naples and Moorhaven and even in Caluistid there earlier today. But take a look at the wind the next couple hours. We will start to see this continue to subside over the next couple hours here. Only about 7-mile-an-hour winds there by 6 o'clock in the morning. In terms of temperatures, though, at this time, we are sitting in the lower 60s inland. For example, 61 degrees in Immokalee, closer towards the coastline, mid-60s, still 66 degrees here in Fort Myers, and we are looking at temperatures dropping down about 64 here overnight. Mostly cloudy skies, though I do expect high temperatures back in the lower 80s. We're also going to be tracking the chance for a few isolated showers and storms. I'll break it down for you coming up.
Thank you so much, Andrew. Well, more signs of progress as the Sanibel School is set to reopen next week. The K through 8th grade school has been closed since Hurricane Ian, but this Wednesday will welcome students back to class. And a busy weekend throughout Southwest Florida. Downtown Fort Myers, there's tents set up all along our river district for Arts Fest. More than 200 artists on site, as well as entertainment, food, and children's art activities. The event is free. Everyone's welcome. And if you missed it today, well, guess what? You can check it out tomorrow from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. Here's a live look from downtown Fort Myers. Speaking of downtown Fort Myers, you can see it right here over the bridge there, the Edison Bridge overlooking the Caloosahatchee River. Stay with us. You're watching Fox 4 News at 11. More of your headlines coming up. Well, Harriet, the famous Florida eagle, has not been seen for the last few days. This is according to Southwest Florida Eagle Cam social media pages. So basically, Harriet was not seen this week, and the site says all we can basically do is try to watch and wait for a hopeful return of Harriet. So, of course, we'll be following that on air and online at fox4now.com. Well, tonight, let's take you to Loudermilk Park as it reopened. Our Fox 4 photographer Daniel Cruz shot this video, and he takes us there today.
Stay in here as long as we can and enjoy the weather, and people are very nice down here.
We've been coming here since 2013, and we really love this park. It's a really good family park. We used to use all the amenities here, the volleyball and the kids playing areas. So yeah, it was a lot of good times here. Plus also just being with the family and you know, searching for shells and shark tooth.
It's just so relaxing here. I could just sit here all day. Got a family picture.
We live in Bonita Springs, but our beaches are not open yet. We are coming and enjoying the Naples area. Be able to have beaches back open is a big deal to us.
And how about we head over to Naples? The Greek festival is taking place this weekend. As you can imagine, there's a ton of Greek food throughout the festival, as well as entertainment and also church presentations. It's taking place at St. Catherine Greek Church. The parish says it serves the needs of nearly 400 families of Orthodox faith in Naples and throughout the surrounding areas. Here's more from St. Catherine Greek Fest.
Having our Greek Fest 2023. We're back in Naples at St. Catherine's Greek Orthodox Church, and we have such a wonderful menu, a variety of festivities and fun. We have our dance group that's dancing throughout the day. Live Greek music by Alaba. Are sold here, right here only at the festival. A lot of charity events that we're doing great things for with the hurricane relief, Golisano Children's Hospital, Agape Charities, St. Matthew's House, just to name a few things. The food items are amazing.
We cook over 2,000 souvlaki.
We're going to take you down to see some saganaki, some cheese that goes on fire. Some wonderful new items, desserts, pastries, and don't forget our convenient drive-thru. We are here tomorrow, Sunday, from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m.
All right, well, if you missed it today, you hear that you can head over there tomorrow until 7 o'clock. And how's the weather going to be, Andrew?
It's going to be a lot better than it was today with the wind. But
that wind is chilly, too.
I tell you what a fun weekend in Southwest Florida. Got so many events here in Fort Myers, down in Naples, so much to do for us. But let's take a look at the forecast. Today, again, obviously, windy conditions out there. We saw winds gusting 34 miles an hour here in Fort Myers. Take a look, though, the next couple hours. Gusts still out there, anywhere from 10 to 20 miles an hour, but will continue to subside through the overnight hours. So that's good news there. In terms of the next couple of hours, also tonight, we are seeing temperatures cooling. Still going to be staying in the mid-60s here tonight. Increasing clouds some. I do expect more mostly cloudy skies in the forecast through the overnight hours at 64 degrees, though, that overnight low. How about tomorrow, though? We are seeing those winds shifting more of the southwest, 5 to 10 miles an hour. That's going to allow temperatures to warm up a little bit. Looking at 82 degrees, Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Punta Gorda, 81 down in Naples for you tomorrow. We're also going to be seeing a little bit of shower activity. Most of that, though, looks to be inland and off towards the Atlantic coastline for us. The latest model is actually pushing it even a little bit further off to the east. That actually drops any rainfall totals. Earlier, we were looking at maybe some higher amounts closer towards Lake O. Looks like most of that's now going to stay closer to the coastline. So we'll kind of have to see where this area of low pressure forms up. It does look like it's going to form up off that stationary front to the south of us and then kind of run up along the Atlantic coastline and then shift off to the north and east as we get in towards tomorrow for you later in the day. And then high pressure builds back in for you on your Monday. So obviously we are expecting more of the rain chances off to the Atlantic coastline, less towards ours as that low pressure moves through. But again, high pressure moves back in Monday. That drops off that humidity as we get in towards Monday and Tuesday. They'll see quickly rebounds up into that tolerable range by Thursday. That's also going to allow for those rain chances to start to work their way back in as we get in towards your Thursday. Looking at about 20% chance of precipitation there. This is going to be out ahead of their next frontal boundary. That's going to move in for you on Friday into Saturday. So let me walk you through our 7-day forecast as we are expecting, again, some afternoon showers and storms tomorrow. Most of that's going to be inland and off towards the Atlantic coastline. And then you get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, mostly sunny skies, warming up into the mid-80s, probably near record temperatures Wednesday and Thursday. And then we do back those rain chances back in on Thursday with that front arriving Friday into Saturday, cooling us off to the lower 70s.
Welcome back. Well, here's the top stories that we are following here across Southwest Florida. We know that tonight there was a shooting. This is confirmed by the Arcadia Police Department as well as the DeSoto County Sheriff's Office. They tell us that one person was shot at the fairgrounds there at the fair that was happening today. They don't have much more information that they're releasing at this time. All they can confirm is that one person was shot earlier tonight. They're saying that you can contact them. The number is there on your screen, 863-494-2222. I know we've had a lot of calls into our newsroom of people asking us exactly what happened. All we can confirm right now is that there was a shooting. They're not releasing a name, the extent of the injuries, or anything about a suspect at this time. But they are again asking for your help in trying to give them more information. They say that you can remain anonymous. You can call that number. You can also head over to the Arcadia Police Department to give them more information. So please help them if you know anything that happened there with that shooting at the county fair earlier today. Also today, a crash happened involving a Lee County public transit bus. One person was killed, 2 others critically injured. That's according to FHP. Florida Highway Patrol says it happened around 4 o'clock today as an SUV was traveling west on Summerlin Road, attempting to make a left on San Carlos Boulevard. That's where the two collided. A 77-year-old California man was taken to the hospital and later died from his injuries. The 2 passengers of the SUV were critically injured. The driver of the transit bus sustained minor injuries. Now, there were no passengers on board the bus when the crash happened. However, the crash remains under investigation still tonight. Also, the Chinese spy balloon was shot down today after it spent days traveling across the United States. Biden moved to shoot down the Chinese spy balloon that entered U.S. airspace earlier this week. China claims it's a civilian aircraft used for weather research. However, the Pentagon says it's a spy balloon. Efforts are now underway to recover balloon debris from the Atlantic Ocean. And this week, we spoke with the City of Sanibel Mayor Holly Smith about 2 beaches expected to open back up soon. Well, we can report those 2 are back open. Public access points for Tarpon Bay and Blind Pass beaches opened up today. When I spoke with the mayor, she said the biggest roadblock is debris. She also says it'll take more time to get the other beaches open. She says that when you head out, you need to be cautious because there could also be hazards around. Just imagine all of that debris we've been reporting on since Hurricane Ian. So you just want to remain cautious. You'll also notice some tracks that you never saw before from those working to make it safe to get the beaches back open. The mayor also adds that when you head there to the area, make sure you try to support the local businesses that have been trying to open up their back on Sanibel. And now, Andrew, when we're talking about those beaches opening up, what can you tell us on how the weather will be and what people can expect on their Sunday? Yeah, I think Sundays for the most part, if you're going to be at the beach, is going to be okay for us at least. It's folks inland, maybe Collier, Glades, Henry County. There is a chance for a few scattered showers, maybe 1 or 2 pop up closer towards the coastline, but I'm not ruling it out completely. But I think majority of it's going to be inland. Now, as we work our way into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I do expect back to the warmer temperatures, back to the sunshine. As we flirt with maybe some records Wednesday and Thursday for you. Now, as we get closer towards the end of the week here, we are tracking a cold front moving in Friday night into Saturday. So out ahead of the front, we could see a little bit more humidity, allowing for maybe an isolated shower or 2 as we get into Thursday afternoon. But then that front rolls in Friday night into Saturday morning, and take a look at next Saturday as we see those temperatures dropping there into the lower 70s. So do look at another round of some cooler temperatures heading into next weekend. And let's give you a live look there to Fort Myers over at the Caloosahatchee Bridge from our cameras over at the Luminary. We appreciate you and watching Fox 4 News at 11 o'clock. Thank you so much. We'll see you back here at 10 p.m. tomorrow.